but you can forget the Frenches. Make your own mustard. We are constructing our own condiments with the help of Chef Michael Dekker from SAIT. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
We have a lot to get to, and I love this topic. So do you at home, do you personally make all of your own condiments?
I don't make all of them, but I like to substitute things in, and I want to say 3/4 of my fridge is full of condiments.
Is that right?
I think condiments
Me too.
Food is a vessel for condiments sometimes.
It is. Okay, where do we begin?
First, we're going to talk about ketchup. So everybody's go-to, it seems. One of the issues I always have with ketchup is the amount of sugar that's in it. So
right.
It's basically half tomato, half sugar. So what we did here is a roasted tomato ketchup. And we really heavily roasted the vegetables, the onions in particular. We put a heavy char on them and then steam them. And they add the sweetness into the dish. So you really eliminate a lot of those sugars like glucose and things that typically we find in ketchup.
Right. And then what do you do with this?
Then you just take it, puree it up in your fancy blender, and then cook it down to the consistency that you want. So,
okay.
So usually about by 25% or so.
And are you seasoning that at all, or that's
just
it?
a touch of salt to it. There's a little bit of red wine vinegar, and then in this whole batch I made about a ½ liter. I put about a tablespoon of brown sugar into it.
Okay.
So pretty minimal considering.
Yes, cutting down on the sugar. What's next?
Next we have mustard. So one of the biggest things we produce in Alberta is actually mustard seed. So it's all the rage. And mustard's really easy. So all I did here is I soaked it in some Chardonnay overnight. Could be worse things. Then we put in some vinegar and again just a touch of honey to balance out the bitterness of it.
That's
so again,
it.
These are things you can do at home. You can add ales into them, different wines, add fresh herbs like rosemary and such if you're serving a roast beef.
Really? So do you have two different kinds of seeds in there?
Yeah, so it's a brown mustard seed and then the yellow seeds.
And where do you find those?
You can find them in almost every spice area in the grocery store.
Really?
Yeah.
Just mix it up?
You betcha.
If I like my mustard smooth, would you just blend that, or how does that
in a
go?
food processor
Yeah.
then you're going to grind that up, or if you have one of those food mills, even better. And then you get that fine consistency.
Easy. Easy breezy. What's next?
Next we're going to do aioli. So basically a mayonnaise, but at home. So we're going to start with an egg yolk. I'm going to get you to whisk this in for me.
Sure.
So we're going to do that. We're going to put in a little bit of mustard for flavoring, and a little bit of vinegar. That's how we start.
Did you have to cook that egg before, or?
In this case, no. If you're worried about that, we can always cook it over a double boiler, similar to like how you would do a hollandaise or something of that nature.
Right.
Then we're going to drizzle in oil. The key is drizzling it in nice and slow, so we get a nice emulsification. You can see it thickening up there. Now the good thing with this is I'm using grapeseed oil. You can use different oils for different flavorings. If I'm doing something with a little bit of an Asian flair, I can use some sesame oil. I could use avocado oil for different dressings for your salads.
Olive oil, is that traditional?
Olive oil, amazing. Yeah, the one thing with olive oil, you got to realize when you put it into the fridge, it's going to solidify a bit. So I always do 50-50 mix.
Okay, should I keep going on this?
That's great. You did a great job. So that's our aioli. Next we're going to look at is a peppercorn ranch. So ranch is kind of that go-to dressing for everyone and really easy to make. So we're going to start with some sour cream. This is full fat, of course. You could lessen it if you'd like. And if you want to grab a spoon and start mixing for us. We're going to add in, we're going to add in a little bit of buttermilk. That's going to thin it out to the right consistency. And then to mine, I like to use green peppercorns.
Are those soaked?
These are a can, so it's a green peppercorn. They come pickled in a can.
Oh.
So you can open up, you can crush them up so it's a little less impactful on the palate.
Now we're talking.
Then we season salt, pepper. You can add different cheeses, Parmesan to it. If I wanted to add blue cheese to this for a little uptake on a wedge salad, you could do that as well.
Okay. I just want to rewind quickly to the aioli. Does that just go like this, or that has to sit in the fridge?
That has to sit in the fridge. So after you make it, you want to refrigerate it because of that raw egg in there.
Perfect. How about using the condiments that I already have?
This is a little more realistic, I think, for most of us. So I have some great marketplace jam here that is made by our students in-house. So what I like to do to things like this, we have a peach brandy jam. So what I could do is take some shallots, julienne them up and caramelize them up nice and rich, and then fold that into the jam. So it kind of takes it from that sweet realm over to the savory.
Yeah, right.
Then it works great with cheeses, as well as different pork items and things of that nature.
Okay. Multi-purposing the jams in your pantry, and fridge full of condiments that are homemade. Thank you, Chef. That was great. Yeah, great learning here. So I'm going to get on the ketchup, that's for sure, and the mustard. We like it.